So today we're going to be looking at how to make a training schedule, and this information can be found in Cadet Regulation 3. So this is the training schedule form. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see it a little better. And the first part of the top part of the form is where you indicate the unit. So let's say this is the 733rd Battalion, and it's George Washington High School. That's where you write the unit. And then the dates are you going to indicate then, this is generally a weekly training schedule. So let's say this is the 5th through the 12th of September 2013. Then you'll notice the schedule has Monday through Friday and also a space for Saturday and Sunday. And there are the columns: who, what, trainer, uniform, notes, and standard and objective. So this is where you're going to indicate in the who column which unit or units are going to be doing which type of training. For most of our schools, you've got a couple of periods of Cadet Corps, and they're generally doing the same thing. Some schools have periods of Cadet Corps that are doing different things. So if there are different events or different activities going on in a different class on a singular day, then you would make multiple entries, multiple lines within this particular row of the training schedule. But let's say this is all cadets. And on Monday, we're going to have them learning about how to perform CPR. So the lesson is how to perform CPR. And let's say the trainer is the Commandant, Captain Jones. The uniform might be civilian because cadets aren't wearing a uniform on that particular day. Now here under notes, this is where I'm going to need to indicate what materials am I going to be using. So I might go to the Cadet Corps curriculum, and in the Cadet Corps curriculum, go to the curriculum strand section, and I might type in CPR. And then when I type in CPR, I get all of the different materials that are available to me with CPR, including the PowerPoint, posters, assessments, etc. So I might use Training Aid 17T5. So I'm going to go back to my, so Training Aid 17T5, which is a PowerPoint presentation. And I might use the poster 17P6, which is a poster. And I want to make sure that I'm teaching to the correct, that I'm using the correct standard. So it's possible that when I click on the PowerPoint, some of the PowerPoints, not all of them, but some of the PowerPoints actually tell you which standard you are using. This particular one doesn't. So I'm going to have to go to the page that says Lesson Plans and Resources, and I need to find the standard and objective relating to CPR. So the standard, looking for the standard on first aid. So standard on first aid is standard number 6, and 6C is how to perform CPR on infants, children, and adults. So I'm going to go back to my standard and objective here, and I'm going to write 6C is my standard and objective. So Monday I might be going through that particular lesson. Then Tuesday, maybe I'm going to split the kids into groups. I'm going to have the first platoon doing CPR practice, and I'm going to have the second platoon doing the mile run. And the trainer for CPR practice might be Captain Jones, and the trainer for the mile run might be Cadet Staff Sergeant Wills. Uniform for this day, maybe the cadets wear their PT uniform. Both platoons will be wearing PT uniform. And here under materials, I might have the CPR dummies, excuse me, that are being used. And for the mile run, I need a stopwatch and the clipboard with the roster on it. So the standard for CPR is still 6C, but the standard for the mile run, I need to go back to my standard for the mile run is a fitness activity. And this is going to be probably standard 4F, enhance their aerobic capacity. I'm going to blow this up a little bit here. You see where we got standard 6C, right? Know how to perform CPR. To go to standard 4F is enhancing the aerobic capacity. So I'm going to go back to my document, and that's going to be standard 4F. So for each day, I'm going to list who's doing what, the trainer, what uniform they're wearing, what materials I'm using, and which standard and objective I have. And then the document is going to be signed by the cadet training officer, commander, and commandant. I might have activities going on the weekend, so I would include those in the Saturday and Sunday column. But it's a fairly straightforward document for me to fill in. Now, one of the things that I can do that is optional is to specify with a little more depth exactly how I am going to do the lesson. So within this particular column that says what, it's entirely possible that I might include a starter activity, which would be describe a scene in a movie where CPR was administered. Then I might go through the PowerPoint with cadets taking Cornell notes as we go through it. Then I might end with a question and answer session on key topics from the PowerPoint, and have everyone copy the poster contents into their notebooks. And I might then end with a ticket out the door where they have to write 3 simple steps to, or write what push hard, push fast means in CPR. So that would be I might want to go into some greater detail in my training schedule to show an inspector that I in fact have a more solid plan than simply going through the PowerPoint. Again, that's optional, but I do advise you wherever possible to attempt to do this sort of activity. Here on Tuesday, you might say units will rotate between the 2 stations. And then I would, in the interest of time, I will stop here, but you might go through And you would do the same thing for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, again, filling in all of the columns. That concludes how to do a strength report.